Old bald guy here.
Young bald guy.
It is political season, and we're getting into it. I teach AP Gov. He teaches history as well. So we live for this. So the Republican debate, we're going to react to the highlights. So let's hit it. All right, so it's political season. I'm kind of a political junkie.
Yeah, I keep up with it.
Yeah, so the Republican debate was last night. I didn't watch it.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It went. It was not on my radar.
Yeah, so we're gonna watch some highlights of it and kind of give our thoughts on it real quick. And I don't know, why not?
Yep.
Here we go.
It's a choice. We need to send Joe Biden back to his basement and reverse American decline.
You all signed a pledge to support the eventual Republican nominee. If former President Trump is convicted in a court of law, would you still support him as your party's choice? Please raise your hand if you would.
Okay, I heard about I think you told me about this.
I saw a clip.
That's DeSantis there on fourth from the left, right?
Yep.
And when they asked that question, he was looking around.
He looked around. Yeah, that's.
If you're a politician and you say I'm going to go my own direction, and you're looking around to see what other people say before you raise your hand.
Yeah. You know what I've been noticing, and I don't know if it's the media trying to stall his rise to sort of Republican stardom.
Yeah.
But a lot of the news about Ron DeSantis lately, even from sort of more conservative sources, has been that his star is fading a little bit, whereas he was like the next guy in line behind former President Trump. You know. So.
I don't know. I think a lot of people said that he made the mistake of trying to go after Trump when and so I don't know. Yeah. We'll see how it plays out. You can never tell what's going to happen in these things because, I mean, in these races, it's so early. And, man, with the Trump's indictments and all that going on, you just don't know how all this is going to play out. So
do you know whose hand was first up?
Who?
I believe it was Vivek.
Yeah, I think he's a very interesting person.
Yes.
And he's slowly creeping up because he's in front of every camera, and he's not ashamed. He's not afraid of giving tough interviews in front of hostile interviewers, and so his star is slowly rising. So
forgive us if we end up with saying his name wrong, or anybody's
name. Yeah, we're not out to.
I mean, look, Joe Biden has weakened this country at home and abroad. Now is not the time for on-the-job training. We don't need to bring in a rookie. We don't need to bring in people without experience. We need to bring.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, I think so.
And
reminds me of Reagan and who was he against when Reagan says, "I won't hold my opponent's youth and inexperience against
him." Yeah, that was Reagan Mondale. I don't know. I mean, I get it. You got it. Pence is punching up. He's polling near the bottom.
It feels like his shtick should be, I'm the morally good person on this panel, and all of them are trying to be, and maybe all of them are, but this is the guy, you know, who has stuck to that mode. Whereas Trump was this renegade radical. Yeah. Pence was the tried and true, you know. So.
I don't know.
Throwing punches doesn't feel right for.
Yeah, Pence. That's right. It doesn't fit him well.
Yeah.
All right.
Continue.
Do you believe in human behavior is causing climate change? Raise your hand if you do.
Look, we're not school children. Let's have the debate. I mean, I'm happy to take it to start. Alexander, as somebody that's handled disasters in Florida.
Okay.
That feels like maybe the right thing to do, but it felt forced. Look, I'm happy to take the debate.
It was rehearsed.
Yes, obviously. It felt rehearsed.
They've rehearsed their catch lines. Their goal is to make this highlight reel. Yeah. That's their goal. Mm-hmm. They want a little soundbite that can be played on the news. And, you know, like when Kamala Harris in the Democrat debate said, you know, I was, you know, basically calling Joe Biden a racist, saying I was that little schoolgirl who couldn't, you know, whatever. And so everybody wants that soundbite that makes the news. And so, okay, good job, Ron.
You got to be activated. You've got to be there. You've got to be present.
I've had enough already tonight of a guy who sounds like ChatGPT standing up here.
This is exactly
What do you
why
mean by that?
Chat GPT.
I know what it is,
Yeah.
but what does that have to do with Vivek Ramaswamy?
Well, this is what I know. Chat GPT, when it spits something out very generic and vanilla.
Okay, I see.
So.
Okay, I get it. It's a little in the weeds, but
I'm assuming that he's pointing that towards Vivek.
it had to be because it was a split screen,
it
and they might have
panned
been
him.
been having some back and forth.
Like, what's his name? Christie?
Yeah, Chris Christie.
Get out of here with that.
Get off the stage,
Margaret Thatcher said, if you want something said, ask a man. If you
heard
want
about
something
this.
done, ask a woman.
Can't we have a minimum?
As a party that's going to pull
Mostly men.
a majority men, yeah. So mostly.
But I understand what she's doing. She's trying to tap into that female vote.
Yeah, and
it didn't work for Hillary. She thought that the women were going to turn out in huge numbers for her. Although she did, of course, most Democrats win a majority of the women, they did not push her over the finish line. And so
I'm somebody who I don't know a ton about Nikki Haley.
I
but
like her.
I respect her.
Yeah,
you know.
more power to
She's
her.
on my radar, and I'm
Sure.
aware of her, obviously.
Standard in every state in the nation that says when a baby is capable of feeling pain, an abortion cannot be allowed.
Don't make women feel like they have to decide on this issue when you know we don't have 60 Senate votes in the House.
70% of the American people support legislation
But
to ban
70% of
abortion
the
after
Senate
a baby is
does
capable
not.
of experiencing pain.
I don't know. Is that true? I thought the nation was pretty evenly divided on that. 70%?
Of the Senate, she's saying.
No, he said 70% of the population.
And she said the Senate, but
Well,
the Senate does not.
Right. She's making the argument that there's no power in the Senate to pass some abortion legislation. And she's right.
I see now.
That we would have we need 60 votes to do that, to get over a filibuster. And she's right, but his argument is like, well, 70% of Americans believe this. Right. And so I don't know. I think the abortion issue, Republicans need to stay away from it.
Yeah, and
It's not going to help them.
To be fair, this is a 3-minute video, and we're catching glimpses of it. We
Out
probably
of context,
need
right.
to go back and watch it.
Right, we have to be careful about that, yeah.
I wish you well in your future career on the boards of Lockheed and Raytheon.
You know, I'm not on
But
the
fact
boards
of the
of
matter,
Lockheed and Raytheon, and you know,
Boeing
you
came off of it, but you've been pushing this lie. You've been pushing this lie all week,
You want
Nikki.
to go and defund Israel? You want to
Okay,
give
let me
Tehran
address
to
that.
China?
I'm glad you brought that up.
You want to go and give
I'm going to
Ukraine
address
Russia?
each of those right now. This is the false lies of a professional politician. There you have it.
You're watching.
I love it when they're right next to each other and they're touching each other as they're pointing, you know.
Yeah, I'm not going to take sides here because either one of these, but he's sharp. He is super sharp.
He's not.
He's no dum-dum.
He's not a lamb at all.
No, he's no empty suit. And Nikki Haley's smart too.
Yeah,
so
very.
that'd have been interesting. I'd like to see the entire back and forth between them two. But that's interesting.
Yep.
So the reality
make
is,
America less safe. You have no foreign policy experience, and it shows.
and you know what? The foreign policy experience that
The most pressing need of the
I'm definitely going to have to go back and watch that because I want to see his rebuttal, and they're not going to. I don't think this short video is going to give it to us. We haven't seen much from Vivek in this video at all. Seen more Pence than anybody else.
Yeah, Tim Scott's an interesting candidate. He's not mudslinging, and this is going to be an interesting thing to watch. While everybody's throwing mud at each other, he's not. He's
And I respect Tim Scott a lot
Sure,
for that.
but as a kind of a political junkie and a person who follows political history, as ugly as it is, mudslinging is effective. I hate to say it, but it's effective. And Tim Scott will not engage in it. So I want to see how far he will get without slinging mud, and if he will start slinging mud.
My personal opinion, after the last 8 years, I'm hoping that enough Americans are tired of the mudslinging and ready for somebody who's going to say respectfully what they think and disagree respectfully with what the other person.
Yeah, it is a breath of fresh air, but I mean, just admitting reality. I don't know how far he's going to get.
Typically get to be president.
Right, they get squashed.
Yeah.
The American people, from a national security standpoint, is our southern border. It has led to the death of 70,000 Americans because of fentanyl.
When after 9/11, we had the global
There's our boy.
Asa.
war on terror, and guess what? We protected the border at the same time. You can do both.
But the American people deserve to know that the president asked me in his request that I reject or return votes unilaterally, power that no vice president in American history had ever exercised or taken. He asked me to put him over the Constitution. And I chose the Constitution, and I always will.
Interesting.
You heard the boos in the background.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Not happy about that statement.
No, and we'll see how that plays out in court. That's for that very reason that Pence is talking about. That's why Trump, I guess, was supposed to be arraigned today.
If he makes that statement, we'll have to go back and watch. Did Pence raise his hand when they asked, will you support President Trump if he's the nominee running from president?
Oh, surely he didn't raise his hand. There's no way he raised his hand.
You want to go back and check?
Yeah, back it up. Let's see what happens. It was the very first thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's about right here.
It's your party's choice.
Okay.
Please raise your hand
That's him on
if
the
you
left.
would.
No, that's Asa on the far left.
Oh, wait, yeah, Pence is right there.
He
He
raised
did.
his hand. That's a bad move. That's a bad move.
Pick a side, Mike.
Yeah, it's a bad move.
Dadgum. So he's saying, wow, that's interesting.
He's going to have a tough road.
Yeah, because he's very, you know, a lot of the criticism against Mike Pence is that he's backstabbed Trump, but at the same time he's going to support Trump.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, hey, if and when the Democrats have a debate, we'll talk about that too.
For
we'll
sure.
be even-handed.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's political season. I look forward to football season and political season.
Yes.
So with that, old bald guy,
Young bald guy.
out.